Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. Once again, a huge, I know we do this every week, but there's never enough Akarsa to the OU and all the people that are involved that arrange all these shiurim. Mama Shebesha should give them koyach to continue helping Klal Yisrael in so many different ways. And of course, no greater schus than limud Torah. The schus, pardon me, of this year should really be for all the people that need Yeshuas, all the hostages that have not yet been released, all the wounded people, all sick, everybody who needs Yeshuas all over Klal Yisrael, everybody that needs to stay safe, because Baruch should keep them safe and sound, and everybody should get back home. Mirza Hashem, we should have a Hanukkah miracle soon. So we are continuing on our subject. Last time, what we did is we started discussing why is davening so hard? Why is it so hard to have kavanah? We mentioned last week about one idea. Pardon me. We mentioned last week one idea that davening's a midah, right? A few people ask me how we know that. There are plenty of sources for it, and it's just self-evident. You just see. It is true. Some people just communicate. Some people just don't communicate. Some people are talkers. Some people are not talkers, right? Some people are organized. Because Baruch Hu gives everybody. Some people were upset about this, and let's just go back for 2 seconds so we can clarify things. We don't want anybody. I don't want anybody to be upset, right? Because Baruch Hu gives everybody different natures, and we will all have things that are easier or harder for us. I mean, some people have a hard time holding their temper, and you're judged subjectively. Because Baruch Hu knows what it means when he's judging you. Were you patient? For some people, everybody has different standards of patience. For you, that was quite patient, right? I know how he created you. I know the life that you had. I know what it is struggle for you, and you actually did quite well. The other person, no, that was unacceptable. You could have done a much better job. I gave you much different qualities. No worse than tzedakah, right? Or organization ability, right? Some people can organize fundraising events, and some people don't have that gift. Right, so if you're called upon it, there's nobody else. You'll do it, but you'll do it the best you can. And the say, for you, you did a quite good job, and I'm very impressed. For somebody else, that would not have been considered a particularly good job. For you, that was a wonderful davening. Your kvad peh, it doesn't go well. You have a hard time focusing. You're a little ADD. Your mind doesn't turn off. You have a hard time focusing on anything, for God's sakes. Right? So you can't focus on davening either. That's your God-given nature. In school, when you were in high school, you probably didn't sit still and listen in school either. That's your God-given nature. So davening's going to be hard to sit for a half hour, and it's just you don't sit and focus on anything for a half hour. You need to be running around and doing stuff. And other people can sit and focus and just read for 3 hours straight and just pay attention to a 3-hour class. It's a God-given nature. So if you have that kind of nature, you can sit and daven for 45 minutes. If you're ADD, jumping around, jumping out of your skin type of person, focusing for 10 minutes is a dramatic struggle. That's what we said last week. I hope that makes sense to everybody and all the people who emailed me and who were struggling a little bit with it. But seemingly it's self-evident. Today I want to focus on another point. Why is it so difficult to daven? There's a creative tension. We touched on this before, but I want to do it better now. There's a creative tension here. There's a famous story of Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Zatzal. He died in 2011, I'm pretty sure. I think the Rosh Yeshivat Negev, a huge tzaddik. It's a famous story that a lady had moved to Eretz Yisrael from France. She was older, looking for a shidduch, struggling with getting herself married. And she had a friend who was very close to Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Zatzal. So he said, let's go to Rabbi Yitzchak Meir, and then you'll get a bracha from another gadol. She goes on to Yeshivat Negev. They make an appointment. Right, and the lady translates, because this lady only speaks French, doesn't speak Hebrew, right? And she explains, and she gives her a bracha, and he tells her, he says, okay, listen, he says, here's what you need to do. You need to say, Kapitel Yud Gimel, Kapitel Chaf, Kapitel Kuf Chaf Aleph, and Kapitel Kuf Lamed. Famous prakim of Tillim, many of which we're all saying now also, famous prakim of Tillim. And she writes, wait. She's writing in French letters. And he says, Kapitel, and she's writing Kapitel Chaf, Kapitel Yud Gimel, Kapitel Chaf, Kapitel Kuf Chaf Aleph, Kapitel Kuf Lamed. Fighter, Grauting. She goes home, and the lady says, do you understand what he said? She said, yeah, I wrote down what he said. A month later, she calls her friends and said, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. And yet the rabbi's bracha came to, I got engaged. It's a nice, I did what the rabbi said, and look at that. 4 weeks later, shazam, I'm engaged. And the lady says, what do you mean you did what the rabbi said? I said exactly what he told me to say. He said, "Oh, you don't read Hebrew, so you got a Tillim in French, like transliterated, or you read the English? What would you read?" She said, "What did I read? What did I read? What?" "Well, he told you to read different chapters in Tillim." She said, "I don't know what he told me to say." I said, I wrote down what he said, and I said, every day I got up and I took my paper and I said, "Oh Hashem, Kapitel Yud Gimel, Kapitel Chaf, Kapitel Kuf Chaf Aleph, Kapitel Kuf Lamed." I said what he said. He told me to say it. I said it. And a miracle, a month later, I got engaged. There's truth to these stories. Stories, about Shem, the kid says Aleph Beis, and it's worth more than everybody's tefillos. You want to know the most heartfelt tefillah that I ever heard in my whole life? I don't believe anybody ever davened better. When I was principal at the First Base Yaakov in Toronto, so I taught ninth grade Chumash. That was my favorite class, taught ninth grade Chumash. I walk into Chumash class one day, and there's a young lady sitting at the front of the thing, right? I'm giving a test that day. And I walk in, and as I walk in, I see she's mumbling to herself. So I think she must be repeating like a lot. She's probably reviewing a pasuk or something. And as I got closer, I hear her saying, "I said, Mashiach should come before I have to take Rabbi Feigenbaum's test." So I said, young lady, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Like the test is like, now. She goes, "I know. What am I going to do?" I said, "Why don't you daven the Mashiach should come before I grade your test?" Her eyes lit up, and with heart, she said, "Hashem, Mashiach should come before Rabbi Feigenbaum grades my test." So unfortunately for her, and unfortunately for us, that obviously did not happen, right? But that's tefillah. That's tefillah. It's a conversation with a HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You can't do tefillah. You can't do tefillah. You can do tefillin. A guy, some Chabad guy, goes over to somebody at the Kaisel and grabs his arm and wraps some leather stuff around him and plunks something on the guy's head. He just wore tefillin. Whether he knows what he's doing or he doesn't know what he's doing, he doesn't wear tefillin. They make no difference in the whole wide world. If they have to be Pesach night and some guy sitting around and says, "Hey, why don't you have this? What is it, man? I'll just eat it, man." As I said, he eat it. What was it? That was matzah. Shazam! He ate matzah on Pesach night. He got the mitzvah. Not the highest mitzvah, not the greatest mitzvah, not the most merited. If you're dressing appropriately, you're dressing appropriately. You can't do tefillah. You can't do. It's a conversation with a HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And she had a conversation with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whatever she thought she meant. On the other hand, Lashon HaKodesh, as we mentioned a few classes ago, Lashon HaKodesh, Dvar Shem Nashamayim Nasu, there's power in the words. If the words didn't matter, Chazal wouldn't have made such a structure. And there won't be so many halachas. If you miss it, if you change it, oh my gosh, right? People, why some people can't daven? They're so OCD, right? They're still, they'll never get it right. Because by the time they switch to Mashiva Ruach, they're still afraid they said Morid Tal. By the time they're Morid Tal, they're afraid they said Mashiva Ruach. The same bracha, same Talam to the bracha, right? It's a lost cause, right? But the words are so important. So if the words aren't so important, they don't say Talam to the bracha, say bracha, Talam, God, rain, help. If you talk in English, you don't have to worry about it. So why get so hung up? Hebrew, words are words. It's a tricky thing. Right? But on the other hand, you need a lave, avodah shabalev, famous for it. I didn't put this in my sitter. I don't know why, it's a good word. Echad amarba v'echad amami, whether you say a lot or you say a little, as long as your lave, as long as your heart is in Shamayim. I say the Bali Musar, echad hamarba, the echad hamami. To be marbe, the Hebrew word which implies doing extra and more is the word gam, more, extra, also gam. What's the letter before Gam? Gimel, Mem. Before Gimel is a Beis. Echad Hamami, the Hebrew word which minimizes things is Ach, but not everything. Ach, but only this. That minimizes things, right? What's the letter after Chaf in the word Ach? Lamed. Beis, Lamed. As long as your label, it doesn't matter if you're Marbe, you're Mamit, you say more, you say less, your heart. But then the words are crucially important. And a lot of people get hung up on that. They don't know if they should daven in English. They don't know if they should daven in Hebrew. They don't know if they should say the Hebrew and focus on the English. It becomes a big tension for many people who want to do it right. There's no one solution. No one solution. As we mentioned, Tillim is a different ballgame. There's a special concept of Tillim. We mentioned this before. If you're saying Tillim, every day I say two program of Tillim, even if you don't understand what it means, as long as you're saying, I don't know what these words mean, but David HaMelech said that we say this, a good Lord listens. God, you know what he meant. Whatever he said, I agree, I'm in. And you just say it. That's powerful, and that's important to say in Hebrew. When you're regularly davening to Hashem, you're Shemona Esther, you're making requests. You could try and mix and match, right? My suggestion to people is if you're Hebrew's not perfect and you don't know exactly what all the brachos mean, so mix and match. Stop in Shemona Esther every day, take one and stop and just talk in normal English and speak out what you think that bracha means. Every day switch it around so that brachas become more real, become more meaningful, especially if, you're like me and you've been davening for 60 years, right? And you know what I mean? It just stop for a second and just in normal, regular English, say, what the heck are I asking a Kodesh Baruch Hu for here? What? Make a list of all the things you would like to understand and plug that into das. It's that tension which drives people crazy many times. And you have to find your own balance. Whatever Hebrew you can say is crucial, but it has to be a conversation, and you have to put it in your own words. Otherwise, you're not having a conversation with God. Tefillah, just mumbling Hebrew words, is not like you put on leather straps and it was tefillin whether you know it or not. That's not true if you just mumble Hebrew Shemona Esrei, you don't know what you said. I daven. No, tefillin, it works. Matzah, it works. You shake a lulav, you shook the lulav. You don't even know what's flying. You shook it at the right time. Bingo, you got a mitzvah. Mumbling Shemona Esrei without having any clue what's flying, right, is not tefillah. Tillim is Tillim. That's a special power. And you know what else gets in the way of people? We're going to go back to the Birchas HaShachar. And I want to focus on, we're up to it. And I think it's one of the most important and nebuch most skipped overs of the Birchas HaShachar. It doesn't get the credit that it deserves. So technically, we were up to a Rakah Haaretz Al Hamayim. That's a pretty straightforward one. Baruch Atah Hashem, thank you. Rakah Haaretz Al Hamayim, we have solid ground. You establish ground over the waters. We have solid ground on which to build our lives. Again, one of the examples of Birchas HaShachar where we take things that we so take for granted. I can stand up straight. I have clothes to wear. I can see. Right, and we say, yeah, well, that's not always true for everybody. Not everybody has solid ground. There's earthquakes, there's floods. You can stand, when you wake up in the morning and you stand up in the ground is solid, don't take that for granted. Thank Hashem for it, which is the overall thing. But now comes a huge one. And again, it doesn't get as much credit or power as people should give it to. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol Sor Ki. How do you think we translate that, folks? Right? Thank you, Hashem, right? The King of the world. She'asali, that you provided me, you made for me, Kol Sor Ki, all my needs. Now, that's a little funny, because if that's true, then there's nothing else to daven for. Then why are you davening for a Thoinu? Why are you davening for a Parnasa? And why are you going to ask Hashem, to help you find a job? Or why are you doubting that Hashem should find, Hashem gives you everything you need. If he gives you everything you need, so just shut up. So what are you asking for? He gave you everything you need. You just said it. He gives me everything I need. That's the famous problem with that. And first of all, he gave me everything I need. That's a little hard when you're struggling with ABC. Your health ain't the best. Grandchildren ain't doing so great. The money's not coming like it's supposed to. Your neighbor is driving you crazy. We all have things that we think are not going the way they're supposed to, and we need help. Wait a minute, he gave me everything I need. And how the Meforshim explain it is, whatever you have given me, that gotta be what I need, not more, not less. That's the power of the bracha. We believe you gave me what I need. Famous line, I forget, one of the Rebbes, he was very poor, and they said, Adam said, how do you make that bracha? You're so poor. He said, because Baruch must think that I need poverty. And look how much poverty he gave me. Kanai Nahana, that's wonderful. All right? You got to be a Rebbe to do that. But that's what we have to believe. But if whatever you gave me must be what I need, not more, not less, and that's the power of this bracha, and that's what I believe, okay? And that goes with, by the way, not only health, wealth, etc., but all the struggles, right? You're giving me all the difficulties that I'm going through. These are things that I need to deal with in order to be the best me that I can be. That's also part of us, called Sorche, say the Bali Musar. Right? All the stuff in life that you've given to me, all the things I'm going through, as difficult as they are, whatever troubles, the health troubles, the parnasa troubles, the children troubles, grandchildren troubles, neighbor troubles, and whatever, cousins in the army, whatever troubles you have, also be called sarki. That Kadosh Baruch Hu, that I need these things to help grow and exercise certain muscles that need to become stronger, certain bitachon muscles, certain patience muscles, certain making do with what I have muscles, certain appreciate what you do have muscles. That's also asali called sarki. But then why am I davening for things asali called sarki? If I needed more money, Shem will give it to me. Here's Pshat. Famous for say all the Bali Musar, the Nachash. Nachash was cursed. You're going to eat dirt all days of your life. What a curse. What a curse. Hey, all the other animals, they got to struggle for food. They got to go fight other animals for food. They got to go find vegetation. They got to wander the earth. The snake, wherever he goes, he got food. That ain't so bad. Oh, not very tasty. But why is that such a horrific curse? Why is that so bad? He's got it made for the rest of his life. Say the Bali Musar. I remember Zatzal used to say this all the time. It's a curse because the Nachash doesn't need to turn to Hashem anymore. He has no relationship to Hashem. He has it all. And if he has it all, he's never going to turn to Kadosh Baruch Hu and talk to him. What Kadosh Baruch Hu told the Nachash is, here, you have it all. Don't talk to me again. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to talk to you. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Bye. Out the door. And bye. Goodbye. You have it all. You don't have to. Bye. And he goes off. And Taka doesn't need anything else. No reason for him to turn to Hashem. Yeah, it's dirt and goodbye. We have a need to create a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he knows we're not going to do that when we're overabundant with good and we're just bursting with thanks. So we talk to him all day and all night, thanking him for what we have. It's not how we work. We need to create a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And sometimes the only way he can help us do that is by having us lack things that we do need and forcing us to ask for it. A little kid, when they're walking, they take the first 2 steps. What does the father and mother do? They walk backwards. If I was a kid, I'd say, hey, yo, you wanted me to walk. I took 2 steps forward, and now you're walking backwards. Hello, why don't you walk towards me? And then he takes another 3 steps, and I'm almost there. Then the father takes another 3 steps back. What's he, some kind of sadist? What the heck is the matter with this guy? Shot is, the father knows I want him to walk. If I just stop there, he'll never walk more. I keep on walking backwards. He keeps on walking more. I keep on walking backwards. He keeps on walking more. Someday the kid will thank me for this because it's training his legs how to walk. Because Baruch Hu needs to train us how to talk to him. And we just don't talk to him when the only thing we need to say is thanks. We say thanks and then we forget about it. Right? But we need stuff. Oh, we talk, we daven, we cry, we beseech. Asali called Sorki. Yes, I'm in Shmoneh. I'm going to ask for things that I believe I need. I believe Hashem gave me everything I need. And I think what he thinks I need is, I think he thinks that, you know what I need? I need to talk to him some more. And therefore he's not help me find a job. So I think what he thinks I need more is I need to daven better. That's why I don't have a job. And thank you for Kadosh Baruch Hu for not giving me my job yet, or having struggled with this medical issue, or struggle with this financial issue, not meeting payday, or whatever it might be. Thank you for doing that, because that is going to force me to daven with more kavanah, which unfortunately I wouldn't if I didn't have the problem. That's when we say asali kol sarki. We believe that he gives us everything we need. Whatever struggles we have, these are important struggles for us. They're good for us. They build our spiritual muscles. And whatever we are lacking, that we think we are lacking, is because Hashem knows that we need a little nudge to daven a little better, a little harder, to work on our closeness with him a little more. And unfortunately, the best way to do that is when we're in struggle and when we're missing things. We do that, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will respond. And if we keep on talking to him a lot, then maybe he wouldn't have to push us to daven, right? Because there's issues. So halavai, he should push us to daven because we have so much abundance of good that we're so thankful all the time that our davening is super duper because we're saying thank you, rather than our davening becomes super duper because we're struggling with struggles. Everybody should have a beautiful and wonderful day, a lichtikin and beautiful Hanukkah, ala nisim, v'ala furos, Kadosh Baruch Hu should have missed Hashem. I give everybody all the brachos and all the blessings and yeshuos that Klal Yisrael need. It's the time for nisim, right? So somebody asked, would you ask Hashem to give you pain? No. We don't ask Hashem to give us tests. But if there's things that we know we're struggling with, and maybe the reason he hasn't answered, if he gives me everything I need, obviously he feels if I have pain, he feels I must need it because I'm not focusing well when I'm healthy, and I'm taking my health for granted, and therefore I don't daven well when I'm healthy, and therefore I daven better when I'm in pain. We never ask Hashem for nisyonos. So we don't ask Hashem, I think my life is too good. Please make something go wrong because I'm afraid I won't daven well. No, we don't ask for that. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows we need it, He'll give it to us. We don't ask God to put us in a situation of a test because we don't know if we'll be able to pass it. Because Hashem only gives you tests that you can pass. And if He's not giving us that test, either because He loves us, we don't need it, or He's afraid we'll mess it up. One of the three. Have a beautiful and wonderful day, everybody. Yasher Kaya. Okay? A huge amount of hatzlacha.